Hello and welcome to the Sork Tower. I'm Broom Dude, giving you guys another deck for post set 5. I really cooked with this one, y'all. This is Shang Reanimator. So basically the whole goal of this deck is to be able to bring back big characters. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys why Shang is so powerful in a deck like this. But let's get into this deck list really quick. So first off, for our Floodborn package, we're on 4 copies of Shang, 4 copies of his shift target. And these cards are just because the Shang lets us discard a character, which puts cards in graveyard for our strategy. So we have 3 copies of Mulan, and we have 4 copies of the shift target. The reason we're only on 3 copies of the Floodborn is because we really needed to make room in this deck, because there is a lot of options that you can play with this list. Next up, this is like the next MVP of the deck. It's Jim Hawkins. So we are playing some locations here. We're playing the Underworld for a good turn 2 drop, and then we're also playing 4 copies of the Pridelands and 1 copy of RLS Legacy. Pridelands is the heart and soul of this deck, y'all. So the idea is we play the Jim Hawkins, we get to play the Pridelands, move Jim Hawkins there for free, and then our turn 4 we can move 2 characters to it and bring back a big threat, which we'll get into the ones that we play in just a moment. Next up, for our removal package, we have 3 copies of the new 1-drop Simba from set 5. Simba Adventurous Successor is just a really powerful card this set. If you're in red, you should really be considering playing this card. It turns any vanilla 2-2 into a 4-2 on turn 2, so basically, you're getting Gastons. Next up, we have 4 copies of Maui and 2 copies of Tuk Tuk. So those are the removal pieces in our character base and the mid-range area. So the Tuk Tuk lets us move things to the Pridelands for free, so we can even just drop this on turn 4 and move the 2 characters there for free, and then be able to trigger the Pridelands to bring something back. It also gives whatever you move +2 power, so it's really going to help us take out those Daisy Ducks. Next up, one of my favorite cards from the set, and it also helps accelerate our graveyard, is the Robin Hood. So we do play 12 actions in the deck, but we play a lot of characters, so a lot of the times we're just going to be putting a bunch of characters in our discard for free, basically, every time this card quests. And if not, it's just going to eat brawls, which is fine too, you know. Honestly, making our opponent waste a turn on using removal on Robin Hood is totally fine with us. If this card does get to go off, we kind of just run away with the game, so... Next up, one of the best cards to bring back in the deck is the Rapunzel. So Rapunzel is just always been a good card since set 1. And being able to recur it and just keep drawing, or like swing our Maui into something, then bring it back with Pride, then bring back the Rapunzel with Pridelands, heal the Maui, draw, and then play cards. Super strong. And then for the top end of our characters, we are playing 1 copy of Sisu Empowered Sibling, 4 copies of Maleficent Monstrous Dragon, and 1 copy of Chernabog Evildoer. So Chernabog is kind of like our last resort, but also we're able to reanimate Chernabog if we need to, so that's pretty powerful. We can bring back Maleficent as early as turn 4, which I'm going to showcase that to you guys in the combo at the end of the video. And then the big Sisu is just super mandatory to play. Again, we can drop it on turn 4 and just board wipe the aggro decks and completely take them off tempo. And next up for the actions, we are on 4 copies of Brawl. You don't really got to talk about this card. It kills everything that's a problem in this meta. 4 copies of Just in Time. This is so we can cheat out our Jim Hawkins or our Robin Hood on turn 3, basically forcing them to be on Brawl for the Robin Hood, or Kick Cloud Kicker to be able to deal with the Robin Hood. And then the last card in the deck is 4 copies of Revive. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of magic here and showcase you guys the entire deck list, and then I'll get into the combo. So there's the full deck list for you guys. If you guys just need to take a screenshot here so that you can build it for yourself, or pause here, make sure you guys take that opportunity to also like if you are pausing here. This deck list is super spicy and I'm having so much fun with it. Really excited to take it to League this week and tell you guys how it does. And now let's get into this combo because it's really fun. So this is how the combo goes. So this is kind of like an ideal hand more than a combo. So this is like an ideal opening, right? So I'm going to show off what you do. So turn 1, we're going to ink an inkable. As long as it's any inkable, it doesn't need to be Brawl. then we're going to go ahead and play the Li Shang. And we're actually going to make sure we shotgun the shift here. This will keep our opponent from being able to resolve early Clarabelles as well by turn 3, because we're just going to be able to dump our hand out quickly. And then also it prevents Li Shang from being hit with cards like Befuddle. And then even later, turn 3, they won't be able to brawl this card either. So it's just really important to shift it early, as well as providing a little bit of a threat to our opponents, right? So then we'll go to our next turn. We'll go ahead and ink another card, and then we'll... turn 2 is our weakest turn, so here we can just kind of pass. If we do see 2 drops like going second are cards we want to keep, but like Underworld, our deck's weakness is turn 2. So next up, we're just going to go into turn 3 here. We're going to go ahead and ink the Brawl. We're going to play the Just in Time. We'll do Jim Hawkins, play the location for free, move Jim Hawkins there. Now, it doesn't really matter what we draw here going forward for the rest of the game, as long as we can get to another character and put it at the Pridelands, right? But the ideal one to see is the Tuk Tuk. So we'll go ahead and play the Tuk Tuk, move Li Shang and Tuk Tuk there. Keep in mind we will be gaining a lore from the Pridelands, and now we can use the Pridelands to bring back whatever character we discarded with the Li Shang, in this case the Maleficent. This is a lot of moving pieces, but the deck doesn't need to do this to operate functionally well. This isn't even necessarily the best lines of play in the deck. It just is a cool line of play to be able to drop the Maleficent on turn 4, as well as making Li Shang go to 5 power in this turn with the Tuk Tuk. So now this turn we can quest for 3 with Jim Hawkins and 2 with the Li Shang for 5 and go to 6 on turn 4. And that's of course saying that we didn't quest with the Li Shang at all. But yeah, being able to give all of our power 4 or greater characters +1 lore with the Li Shang also means that if the Li Shang survives, which is not very likely, to the 5th turn, we're questing for a total of 8, going to 14 lore on turn 5, and as well as having a card that's extremely hard to deal with in those early games. So if you guys liked this combo, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe for more content. We're going to be uploading a ton of Set 5 content for you guys. Locals is in 3 days, so when we go, I'm definitely going to do a little vlog for you guys. Really excited to showcase how this deck performs. Make sure you guys go ahead and put a comment down below for another deck you would like to see. I love to brew. I love this game. This is Broom Dude hopping out of the Sork Tower.